G'day, and welcome to One Way Gatherings online virtual gatherings. This week we have a couple of different things. We debut Uncle Gary's segment to help us through isolation, courtesy of Grow Church. We've also got a super easy cake to make, and we do a bit of myth busting. As always, if there's something you'd like us to pray for, contact us via the live prayer link on screen if you're watching online, or by visiting the website and completing the Contact Us page if you're watching later on. Don't forget to set up a reminder for 7 p.m. next Friday or 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Have a good week. Bye.
Hello, I'm Uncle Gazza, and I'm here to help you through the coronavirus crisis. We're all working through this together. But one of the biggest issues has been toilet tissues. And the toilet roll, for some reason, people are just stocking up at home. They've got heaps and heaps and heaps. It's not necessary to do so. Why would you buy 144 rolls of toilet paper? And if you needed that to take you through the 14 days of quarantine, you probably should have seen a doctor before that. So don't stock up on your toilet paper. People are donating toilet paper to Grow Church. We don't need it, we've got heaps. And even some people, they're used to writing their names on envelopes when they put in their offerings, they're even writing their names on the toilet roll. And it's not necessary. Sue and Lou. In fact, Lou is a fantastic name for a toilet roll. Which reminds me, why did the toilet roll down the hill? Give up to get to the bottom. Which then takes me to self-isolating and working from home. We're all setting up offices at home and setting up our computers, our desks. And of course, important is to keep nourished and people have snacks. But very importantly, don't eat all your snacks on the one day. Which brings me to tea, coffee and water. We need to hydrate. Especially tea is good for you. And it reminds me, what do you call a male tea bag? Give up? A Hebrew. Which takes us back to our toilet rolls. There they are shaped as a pyramid. So I have a question for you. How do you get inside a pyramid? Give up? You just toot and come in. Well, that ends the segment today. So thank you for listening. Bye.
Oh, Gary!
Hi, Uncle Gazza again, helping you survive the coronavirus crisis. Big issue is shopping. We're permitted to go shopping, so I decided to help my wife. Now, I must admit, I'm not a shopper, and I hardly ever go. But I went to the corner store, and I bought 4 corners. I then went to the paper shop, but I found it had blown away. Then I decided to go to a store and buy a pair of camouflage trousers. I looked everywhere, couldn't see them. And then I went to the greengrocer. I did not realise how expensive fruit and vegetables are. So I asked the greengrocer, could I please have $2 worth of tomatoes? And you know what he said to me? He said, don't you want a whole tomato? This is Uncle Gazza signing out. Bye for now.
Oh, Gary!
This week, we're going to do a bit of myth busting. Now, a common phrase that we often hear is that people won't believe in God because they can't see him. He's just a mythical creature that exists in the imagination. So they roll out the seeing is believing line, and they use that as an excuse to dismiss God. Now, I believe that's a myth. There's a ton of other things that we can't see, but yet we still believe in. Love, anger, frustration, fear, and any other emotions that we have. Smell, wind, the air we breathe, earthquakes, gravity, radio waves, Wi-Fi, TV signals, that kind of stuff. Electricity, goodwill, if we buy a business, sound, and even the spiritual realm. Sometimes we argue that of course we can see these things. Of course we can see love. Of course we can see anger, fear, all the other emotions. Of course we can see the wind and the air we breathe. Oh wait, and even if we can't see the air, we know it's there because without the air, we die. All of these things we see the effects of, but we don't actually see. Electricity, radio waves, Wi-Fi, etc. None of these we can see, but we know they're there, and we know what happens if they're not there. If you've ever tried to turn on a TV and you've got no power, or a light switch and no power, we know what happens. With gravity, we see what happens if it's not there, such as in space. And we know that gravity's there because if we drop something, usually that glass that we don't want to drop, it heads straight to the floor and shatters. It's taken in a downward direction thanks to the force of gravity. So we know gravity's there, even if we can't see it. The last couple of months, we've spent avoiding something we can't see with the naked eye, the virus. We keep washing our hands, trying to remove the germs that we can't see. We keep cleaning things to remove the virus germs off bench tops, tabletops, doorknobs, those kind of things. So we believe in this virus because we're doing those things, and we see the effects of the virus if you catch it, but we actually can't really see it to the naked eye. So we believe in love because we see the effects of it. We believe in anger because we see the effects of it, along with all the other emotions. We see the effects of these emotions, and therefore we believe that they exist even though we don't see them. Sound and wind, neither of those we see, but yet we believe they exist. We can measure it, hear it, but we can't actually see it. Again, we only see the effects of it. So this brings us to the question of God. Why is it so hard to believe in a God we can't see, when all these other things we can't see, yet we believe in them? We say we'll believe when we see. This is obviously a myth, and we choose to apply it when it suits us. So the answer is, we simply don't want to believe in God. In the days that Jesus lived on earth, many people saw him, they heard him, they even watched him perform miracles like healing the sick and raising the dead. But yet they still didn't believe. Some of the same people who witnessed all that he did were the same people to yell out, "Crucify him." John 7:7 tells us that people are not going to like Jesus because he doesn't agree with everything that happens in the world. He gives us some standards to live by, and generally we don't like them. So we turn our back on Jesus, dismiss him, and say, well, we can't see him, therefore he doesn't exist. But you don't need to go too far to find somebody who will testify about the effect that God has on a human heart, or a life that's been transformed by the power of God. The love and comfort that a person may feel when they need someone to help, but nobody's around. Or the person who's sunk to incredible lows, or the joy that comes from experiencing a touch from God, all from a God they can't see, but yet know without a doubt exists. So the good news is, you can believe in God without seeing him, and in fact, blessed are those who have not seen but yet believe. If you start on a journey to seek God, you'll find him, and that's when you'll truly be blessed. So you don't need to stand by the old myth that seeing is believing, or use that as an excuse, because that's just an excuse, a myth that we've just busted. Seeing is not believing. Alright, have a good week, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!